Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, the podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, a second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me is my co-host, Jake Twito.
Hello.
Yeah, that's the sound of two people
Let's start this out right. God bless Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, because that's the only good thing in this movie. Because today we're talking about Death Note from 2017, a Netflix production.
And you know what? I think when I first heard Netflix is going to make their own movies and their own TV shows, this is what I expected. A Lifetime movie on streaming.
Well, see, Netflix used to be like, if it's a Netflix original, like especially if it's a show, like you were like, well, that's going to be good. Because even like what's considered a bad show on HBO is like middle of the road, pretty decent. You can watch it.
Yeah. The writing's at least good, or there's some part that's like, oh, this is good. But yeah, Death Note.
But the story of this,
put my name in the book.
The story of this particular movie is a high school student named Light Turner discovers a mysterious notebook that has the power to kill anyone whose name is written within its pages and launches a secret crusade to rid the world of criminals.
And you know what? I'll go ahead and tell you a random fact. Okay. This is a Netflix movie because Warner Brothers was doing it first and they dropped it because of how bad it was going. And then Netflix got it.
Which, fun fact, the director of this movie went on to do better things like Kong vs. Godzilla.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to be the guy that did this.
I didn't either.
Was shocked. I mean, he did the Blair Witch in 2016 Blair Witch, but
I looked up who directed this and I was like, really? Because we'll get into it, but there's a lot of stuff that seems like it got cut out and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, 100 minutes. Definitely something got cut.
The most positive review I could find was from IGN. It says, what's frustrating is that with better lead performers and a tighter script, Wingard could have made a great adaptation. Instead, it settles when it should have soared.
You're best actor in this entire thing. I tried to clock his time of how long Willem Dafoe's here, and it's
not
like
much.
Yeah, and elephant in the room. Yeah, the anime of this is top notch. Probably one of the best things to me I've ever watched.
Is the only good thing about this is when I first watched it when it first came out. It got me to go back and watch the anime, and it's probably like the only anime that someone told me to watch or that I wanted to watch.
Yeah, and again, I agree. There's some Netflix data that when this came out, the anime went way up in views. Yeah. And it's flat out. People are like, all right, this has to be better. But in this movie, or watching this, I did my best. And I think I can mentally go like, all right, I'm not going to take this as an adaptation or adaptation. No, it's a standalone thing. So it sucks standalone. I'm not just an angry fanboy,
Inku Kang of The Wrap says, with the negative review, this is the guy with the negative one. The new horror thriller is cheesy, asinine, convoluted, and ludicrous. On the plus side, if your eyeballs need a vigorous workout, this will have them rolling nonstop.
Yeah.
And
he could have been meaner.
You brought up the elephant in the room, comparing it to the anime. But this movie by itself makes no sense whatsoever.
No, it's a weird, cheesy, like, gore fest. That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to get into it, but, like, the story's not good. There's nothing to be followed. You have characters coming in and out. There's no understanding of why they do anything. I mean, like...
It doesn't follow its own rules.
Yeah. That's what threw me off. I was like, well... this may be a garbage movie, but surely they'll follow their own premise. No, like the things that they set boundaries for get broken 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not the biggest anime fan, but I did like this particular one. But I'm also somebody that likes the Ghost in the Shell remake with Scarlett Johansson. So,
hey, you know what? Not to be a giant nerd, I like specific animes a ton. We've talked about Cowboy Bebop extensively. And Ghost in the Shell, man, that's one of my favorite pieces. That adaptation, I don't mind it, man.
I don't. Yeah,
whatever. I mean, like that
it's
worked.
one we need to cover on this podcast because it got a lot of poo poo thrown on it.
I think that is a worthwhile. It was a valiant effort, and not to be. For once, I'm not going to be this movie's got a ton of whitewashing stuff in it.
Oh yeah,
and I get it. I mean, fully, I do. I do think that this should have been set in Japan. Still, it should have been a Japanese actor.
You can put it in English. Like we have American Japanese actors. Like you're obviously making this for an American audience. We get it.
Yeah, and I think the only reason I bring that up with Ghost in the Shell too is I think Ghost in the Shell got tanked because of the whitewashing. I think it's a good movie, but I fully understand. Like that's the source content. I get it, but
yeah,
that's for another podcast, I guess.
Maybe it's just, and this could be me, or it's but to me, every character in an anime looks like a white person.
Yeah,
the way they're drawn.
Like, I think people that love manga and all sometimes it's like you treat it like a Bible.
Yeah,
it's like no, man, it's a creative thing. Like, just chill out. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't, whatever.
But
I'm
also,
probably wrong. But
some movies are just meant for animation, and I think this is one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I know why you'd want to adapt this, but there's so many. Flipping on that adaptation switch, though, there's so many things that I don't know how you'd make it not animated. There's no way you could capture any of the essence of it without it being. And like Ryuk, he looks great. You never see him. Nope. He's always in a shadow. It's kind of like, man, what I don't know. That's a piece where like, shouldn't have done this live action straight away.
So this movie starts with our protagonist, Light, who is the most unlikable protagonist I've ever seen.
I have never wanted to punch someone. I'm not a violent person, but that guy's face is like, I just want to drill a punch. When the bullies picked on him, I was rooting for them.
Yeah.
And when he cowardly yelps or screams when he sees Ryuk for the first time later, yeah, man, I was done. I said, this Light Turner character can just go ahead and eat turd.
Yeah, he's being real creepy watching the cheerleaders practice, and out of the sky falls the Death Note.
It's crazy. Like you don't feel the need to root for the protagonist at all. They do not. I mean, like maybe they thought they were doing stuff, but
it's like
no part of you.
There's a lot they try to do to try to sympathize you to him, but
nothing in his actions or anything. I'll say it right now. Like my biggest problem in this entire movie, there is no character in this where you're like, yeah, I like this person.
Right.
I can stand with them. Like, it's just a collection of a-holes.
Yeah.
So his dad.
His dad's pretty good. So he picks up this Death Note and he's like, ooh, what is this? He's making money by, writing papers for people because it's a high school movie and he's a nerd, I guess. And so after he tries to stand up for some people that are getting picked on, or like one of the cheerleaders or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, something like that. But something you just keep on walking, dude. Whatever.
Yeah. And he gets knocked out. And the most unrealistic thing out of like that is many in this movie, a teacher.
Oh man!
Walks to him. Sees looks at this kid on the ground and picks up the papers of the people, like the papers he's helping people cheat with. And the next shot is we're sitting in the principal's office.
That was wild.
And she keeps walking with the paper.
I'll tell you, like, probably the best part of this movie for me was this little, like, weeb or dweeb, whatever you want to call him, gives this whole, like, I know you failed. You're over 18. You punch me, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Pop. It's like, yeah, this ranting little jerk gets bopped. This movie rules. Sorry. But yeah, what? There is no realistic piece of a teacher seeing a kid. That teacher's an a-hole.
Yeah.
You had a kid on the ground, clearly been beat. You're probably going to care for the kid if you're got a soul, but instead,
yeah,
nowadays
we would have got that on camera and you'd be fired.
Well, again, straight away, I was like, okay, there's no logic in this.
Yeah.
Who would have not seen this happen somewhere? I mean,
and then we get all the exposition of our character in this meeting with the principal with ice on his face. And they make him go to class afterwards. Like, this kid was obviously punched in the face and knocked out, laying on the ground, and he still has to go to school for the rest of the day. What is this place?
Boy, they hit your eyes. They didn't hit your ears. You can listen and learn.
You can still listen, boy. You got it. But we find out his mom's dead. That's basically all the character development we get from him is his mom's dead.
Yeah. Which, you know what? I said, I don't know where they're going to go with this. Maybe they're going to make it connected to the Death Note. Maybe they're going to do something. No, it's just,
Which that would be interesting. The previous owner killing his mom or whatever, but nope.
Yeah. No, just a useless. Well, I mean, at the end of it,
yeah,
pays off.
And then, so he's apparently he goes through the school day, gets to detention, and starts reading through the rules of the Death Note.
Not a guy that went to detention a ton. I was a pretty decent student, or I was sneaky as hell and got away with everything. Both of my parents were teachers, so I really figured out how to play the game really quick. That's terrible to say, but detention teachers, dude, they do not leave.
Yeah, no, they're
like,
there.
This is asinine. Reads the Death Note rules, and then you get the classroom getting destroyed.
Yeah, because Ryuk's in the back, which we get the saving grace of this movie and Willem Dafoe as Ryuk.
And I'll tell you, again, I'm going to try my best not to say anime versus this the whole time. Anime versus this, the introduction. I'm Canadian. Yeah, bud. The introduction to Ryuk, way better in this movie.
Yeah.
You get this, he's a menacing, crazy. But then you get that wonderful yell, that Nat Wolf. I thought it was a joke. I immediately went, that's hilarious, and realized later after I heard it 5 more times, no, that's him acting.
Which I was watching somebody talk about this online today, and they put forward the fact that it seems like they were probably trying to lean into the silliness of this whole premise and make it like a dark comedy, but it got changed halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, oh man. That's not the place you weigh into the silliness. I mean, there's definitely some possibilities of being stupid in this. I mean, the whole concept's ridiculous.
He gets the explanation from this death god about how the Death Note works. If you write somebody's name down and you're thinking about them.
I absolutely love. He's like, this is a dream. Write it down. So at what point does this kid understand he's not dreaming and he's just going to murder someone? Right away, I was like, yeah, I hate this guy. This guy's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, his girlfriend's even worse.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Fun fact: girlfriend played by Margaret Qualley, whose mother is Andy McDowell, who is from Gaffney, South Carolina, and went to Winthrop.
That explains a lot. You Winthrop people. I kid.
Margaret Qualley didn't go to Winthrop.
I don't care.
She lived her whole life in LA.
She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
She was much better than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the only thing I think when I look, not much, but I didn't realize that.
She was also in Death Stranding.
Man, I need to play that game.
It's weird, but it's good.
Look,
Look, we're talking about anime. It's the most Japanese thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima. I love that guy. Anything that guy does, I'm intrigued. Yeah, I just got Cyberpunk 2077 just to really nerd out. So I'm really loving life.
I've been through that 3 or 4 times, but it's
yeah. You know what? That's what I went and saw the massive weight of talent, whatever, the Nicolas Cage movie, and played Cyberpunk after this. That's how I cleanse my palate.
Kind of mad about that, but
yeah, I love it. But yeah, so they get the book. You get the first death scene, and Preston, it threw me so far off to legitimately see the guy's head explode.
First
I don't care
of all,
about gore, but what?
It's a ladder. Now, I'm not denying that ladder wouldn't seriously injure somebody.
It would not rip your head off, man. There's no way.
There is no way it's decapitating anyone.
I mean, that's like Final Destination bullcrap now.
Yeah, and it goes through this unnecessarily long sequence about how all these events led up to this truck swerving and hitting this car and this ladder killing this kid, basically.
And you know what? He watches it happen and he's perfectly fine. He's not traumatized.
Yeah.
Maybe he thinks it's a dream, but it's kind of like, you idiot, man.
Yeah. And so we cut to him and his dad at home. I did not know a house could be that close to train tracks.
Man, I'm going to tell you, that is I think it's slowed down. That's my least favorite trope in any movie. Yeah. Either we're going to show you how poor we are or how whatever else. We're right beside the train tracks.
Yeah.
Preston, there's a couple more feet. Like, I grew up next to trains in Kershaw. Legitimately, the railroad track right there.
So, and they're having a discussion, like, basically Light blames his dad for not catching or doing anything to the man that killed his mom.
Which, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Right away, I'm like, all right, James Turner, the detective, his dad, that's the guy in this movie that's okay.
Yep.
That's the solid guy. What's Shay? What's his real name? Shay. It's Wigham. Wigham's the actor's last name.
I know he was in Kong Skull Island and several other things. So
that actor, I feel like, can't catch a break. He's an incredible actor.
He's really good.
He was in Fast and Furious, the original.
Yeah, he was in the fourth one.
Sorry, that's when yeah.
And to the audience, yes, I pulled that out of the back of my head without looking it up.
Oh, I'm cheating. I'm pulling it up right now, and I'm proud of you for one. That guy, he's a phenomenal actor, and he's going to be in Mission Impossible 7 and 8, apparently.
Of course, like he's probably going to play some like government agent guy or something.
But you know what? You see that guy, and you're like, "That's a cop."
Mm-hmm.
Which, hey, play into it, buddy. He's got a daggone huge film list. But sorry, that he starts talking, and I'm like, you know what? Willem Dafoe isn't the only good actor in this movie. This guy's great.
Yeah.
I'm all right with this.
Terrible hair, but good actor.
You don't like those sideburns, man?
I don't like how high his hair was or the long sideburns.
No. So but you get the wonderful transition of like L Light in this. It's weird.
Yeah.
Still.
Also, how many white guys named Light?
One. One. And his parents were meth addicts.
It's like, at least
not even a joke.
Like, change the character's name for the movie. Like, that's not even believable name.
Light.
It's so dumb.
Yeah,
But anyway,
it is wonderful, like, stupid transition of the Death Note. It is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill the guy that killed my ma.
Yeah, and then he does it, and his dad comes to because that's the first person he kills is the guy that killed his mom.
What's his terrible? A Skomal, so not dip.
Okay.
Yeah, I kept thinking, like, what kind of tobacco are they doing here? It's Skomal.
Yeah. And then his dad comes in the room next morning and is kind of happy that the guy's dead, and they kind of bond over that. He apologizes for how he treated him, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but then that little pissant goes and reads a book during gym.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I hated gym too, but come on, Bob. You
at least got to do something.
You're looking like a serial killer. What? Mia?
Mia.
God dang.
He shows the Death Note to the first girl that ever smiled at him.
I lost my brain. I went, great. I'm going to have to endure this person the whole movie now. And like, so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I did kind of laugh at like, oh, that's how you set this up. This guy's going to go do a salute, whatever, but kills a guy that has his family hostage. And like, this is where you're like, okay, Light's okay. He's only going to kill people that are criminals. So stupid.
It's like the most like emo gothic couple you can think of. Like this is like a gothic couple's dream.
If this came out like 14 years earlier, it'd have gotten eaten up, man.
Yeah.
It'd have been a Hot Topic. You'd have been wearing these t-shirts.
Yeah.
Is Hot Topic around anymore?
I have no clue. When was the last time you even walked in a mall?
You know what, dude? I don't even know.
I can't. I mean, think of the last time I've been in a mall. And the big difference between this girlfriend and the anime, I guess we're just going to compare it to the anime. We have to. I mean,
yeah, anime girl's like a bubbly, happy,
and she's obsessed with light. This gal loves murder.
Yeah, she's all about the cold body, man. She's robbing some graves.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like kill that thing, kill it.
Yeah,
there is no compassion. There's no rhyme or reason. Like you even see it later when I mean, I guess we go before they like the two of them create a god essentially for everyone to worship Kira, where Kira is going to go save the world and rib the criminals and stuff. And at this point, I went, it's like a Mario phrase. Disappoint, huh? I was like, yeah, this movie's picking up pace. Okay, this is interesting. But man, both those main actors, I hate them. They were terrible. I just couldn't. I couldn't remotely enjoy anything.
The thing with Kira is, and everyone believing in this god, is some ideas are just meant for animation and an anime. Because as skeptical as we all are nowadays, like there's no way like everyone around the world would be like, oh yeah, there's a god out here killing people.
Yeah, like L gets introduced soon, investigating him.
Yeah.
And it's like this guy's so willing to accept impossible things. Yeah, it's just like the realism of it being like a live action just doesn't translate. It's like that. There's
and
no way.
The excuse they give for why they use Kira.
Yeah, the Russian translation and the Japanese translation. I think that's straight from the anime, though.
There's a whole different reason in the thing, but in this one, it's because he's a white dude in Seattle. He's like, we'll call it Kira because it kind of means light, and they'll all think it's Japanese. It's a Japanese person killing people.
Hey guys, everyone's thinking I'm whitewashing this. I'm gonna make fun of that and make it worse.
Also,
take that, Japan.
Is what they're doing? Is it actually murder?
You know what? That to me, okay, that's one of the best highlights of the anime. Is it's a cat and mouse game, but then it really is a philosophical look of is death wrong or right? You know, you're killing rapists, pedophiles. I'm trying to think of what else they killed in the movie. So yeah, I mean it's murder, flat out. Like you're taking someone else's life, and the question is like, are you just by doing that? But I mean, I'd say no. But yeah, you're murdering people, man.
But really, like in a court of law, the only evidence you have is this guy wrote some names down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, and if you're Amber Heard's lawyer, you're screwed.
Way to date this episode.
Yeah, look, I'm just to date your podcast. Just to flat about this episode, yeah. But
so if you're listening to this in the future, we're glad Johnny Depp was proven right and exonerated.
Yeah.
And got his $50 million, which I doubt Amber Heard has $50 million. But
yeah, definitely.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's a good point though. Like, God, I'm sorry, not to pull like anime versus this.
No, I mean we've been doing it. So.
How would you remotely tie in Light Turner as being the person that does this? I mean, any imbecile can watch a death happen, write it in a notebook after the fact, and it's like, yeah, I did it because I wrote it in my diary.
Mm-hmm.
So, watching this, the live action, immediately I was like, this isn't believable.
L is so much better in the anime.
Yeah, and man, the dude tried.
He did. Like Lakeith Stanfield is a great actor.
Phenomenal. I didn't mind. I did mind him. Sorry, I did mind him in this. Let me not try and give him credit.
Yeah,
but like he tried so hard to mimic the anime. It just you can't. I mean, you can mimic Snoop Dogg and Straight Outta Compton, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do it. But like as soon as I saw him jump on a daggum chair, double-footed, it's like,
yeah,
some things need to stay animated, and this is one of them, 100%.
Because like he's so inconsistent with his character and his emotions.
I mean, like we go to it later, and I think you text me like, "Thank goodness this movie's so short."
Yeah.
I'm so happy because I didn't want to endure it, but I think this movie struggles from that because there are so many connected paths. Like you meet L, things move so fast after that, and then the movie ends. But L goes from this mastermind weirdo, whatever they did to him as a kid, I don't know, to breaking into the Turner house and like doing threats.
Yeah, and like saying, tear his place apart.
Chasing him with a gun later, which the gun is the gun from Blade Runner. It's modeled.
I did notice that. Yeah,
I had to look it up. I went, where have I seen this? But yeah. So L comes in. You meet Watari, which
we'll get to that.
Yeah, meet Watari. But let me ask you this: L, what is? I mean, who does L work for? I know he's a private investigator, but what world government lets this random stranger just go, I'm taking over?
Apparently the FBI did, because he starts out like working with the FBI because he's like, FBI thinks that, so he's probably brought on by the FBI.
But you know what? They bring the FBI in, and it's explained later, but what a bonkers. This is where the rules of the Death Note, I can't remember it from the anime, so I'll flat out say I can't remember right now. They kill, Light gets a tail from the FBI because somehow L distinguishes that he's been releasing specific information in certain areas, and where it flipped was in Seattle. And due to the information, he can deduct that it's got to be a cop or someone related to a cop. So he puts trails in everybody. So they got an FBI trail on on Light.
And Mia is way too excited about getting rid of these dudes.
Oh, yeah. And finds out she steals a book, writes it in there, because, the deal is that you can kill someone in the book, but you've got 2 days to pretty much take over their body.
Yeah.
Whatever you put in there, they can do. So for her, it's like, you're going to write names in this page because you know the people that are tracking other people, and you know what they look like. And that's where I was like, this is breaking some rules.
And Light thinks that Ryuk is the one that's doing this.
Yeah, and you know what's even funnier is they never go. I thought there'd be a Light apologizes to him or some kind of redemption piece. No, it just never happened. We're good. It was that crazy one. We're good.
Because one by one, they somehow, I can't even remember how L figures out that they. Because I get, well, he couldn't get a hold of one of the tails, I think. And he's like, oh, everyone needs to get away and go to a hospital because you're about to die.
Yep. It gets so sloppy right
and
here.
One more,
bad, but here,
one more thing about L is in the anime, he has a quirk where he just likes candy. Like that's his thing.
Oh God, it's so stupid in this movie.
And for some reason, they decided that, oh, well, we need to have a reason for him to want candy or need candy or use candy. I don't know. Because his little handler, Watari, says the insulin spike will help and you'll sleep for an hour because he doesn't sleep, apparently. I've never known candy to keep anyone up. Like that. How much sugar would you have to use to stay up that long?
A metric ton. No. Nope.
Can a guy just not like candy? Like we can't just have that?
Yeah, it's kind of funny in the anime. Like I think the whole thing in the anime is like it's a man child. It's this guy that's a genius, but he's a kid and was maybe forgot his childhood or pushed to being an adult too quick. But
yeah,
it's got his little quips. Instead, it's just like I'm eating candy because I gotta stay awake.
So
but
like,
you get the.
Go ahead.
I would say you get the like. He blames Ryuk, and then his dad does the press conference, and that's when it's like, oh yeah, dude, you need to kill this girl, Mia.
Because she's super willing to kill his dad.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't blink. She's like, write the name in, kill him,
kill him.
Us. You're gonna die.
Because this is after the first press conference where L challenged Kira to do something, because he's figured out that Kira's in Seattle, and how did he figure it out? Who knows?
It was the again. How does this one guy do this? He released information about murderers.
That's right.
And he like the guy that got killed was there, but still, there's no way you could deduct that. There's no way.
No. If you think someone's murdering people, which there's no proof of anyone murdering anyone, but anyway.
Yeah. But you get the like comical L busting up in the house after that.
Yeah. Like, this is
sees him in the coffee shop first.
Yes. And then after their which again, inconsistent character. He's supposed to be this calm, cool, collected detective type character, and Light is supposed to be like this super genius or whatever. We're supposed to believe he's a genius. But anytime either two of them are challenged on anything, they both start acting emotional.
Immediately. There's no gap. It's just like, yeah, now I'm going to explode. Like, L tells Light, I know who you are. You're Kira.
Yeah.
The kid doesn't try and turn it down or anything. He's just like, well, let me tell you some things. How would I do this?
I'm so smart. Look at me. No, you're not. You're a dumbass.
Yeah, your hair's fake. You dyed it. Idiot. Fun fact, I dyed my hair blonde my senior year of college. I mean, senior year of high school. So.
I believe it.
Yeah.
A lot of people
did it just to, I don't know why I did it.
It was the early 2000s, you know.
It was great. I mean, phenomenal. I ruined my mom's idea of high school senior pictures because I had blonde hair. It was great. 10 out of 10. I'd do it again. Next podcast. Blonde hair.
I had short hair all through school, so I didn't have the opportunity to ever dye my hair.
When I met you, you were buzz cut.
I was, yeah. That's how I was in high school. I had that look for about 10 years.
I need a haircut. That's all you're telling me. Light gets ticked off, though. After L invades the house, they make L seem to be like a crazy person, which kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
But then he figures out the plan of his dad tells him Watari is his assistant earlier. Yeah. So he uses that information to make Watari go figure out L's name.
And this is another thing where the movie does not keep up with its own rules, because it says you have to write the name down. And everyone we've seen him write down has been a first and a last name. And all he writes down is Watari.
I mean, I know share, but yeah.
The book doesn't know that.
I mean, he knows his face, so I guess that's the thing. But like, no, that's not. There's no way he has just one name.
And he brainwashes him into going to get the records of this school or place where L was raised to find out who he really is, so he can kill him.
Yeah, and you know what? That's where the movie tries to make you think Light's a good guy. He's going to get me the information. I'm going to destroy the page. He won't die.
Yeah, but, which I don't think is in the original anime. Like burning a page will save someone.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules in the book, and in the original anime, he uses these rules against Ryuk. He doesn't use it for his advantage. It's like, I'm going to teach this death god a lesson. Like, I'm smart, but. Yeah,
but so after L figures out or realizes that Watari is gone because apparently they never travel separately. And I guess L needs a handler or whatever.
Yep.
He storms into Light's house and is very emotional.
Yeah, and he gets choke slammed.
Yeah, by the dad.
Yeah. Suck it.
Threatens a teenager. Which I guess he's supposed to be a teenager too? I don't know.
And that's where I was like, this isn't that big a deal. They're the same age probably. So,
yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
But you get I think that's where doesn't L do that to place cameras in his house though?
Does he? I don't know.
I think that's what happens is like he has this big show off thing. He gets in trouble, but at the same time, that's how he gets cameras in the house.
Oh, and he had I'm gonna be honest.
I think it's a cut scene. I think it gets cut. I think that was originally there because at some point in time, you just see L watching cameras in his room.
Okay.
And everywhere else. So I think that was originally supposed to be a diversion. They cut the other piece.
At this point, honestly, it was hard to pay attention to this movie.
I wanted this to end at this point. Like I said at the beginning, put my name in the book.
It's a lot of making myself not look at my phone and watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because after he figures out that it's something about a calculus book.
Yeah. So
they
go to the prom.
Yeah, and then Watari gets killed.
Yep. He runs out of time, and it's the joke of Ryuk's like, "You told me dealer's choice with the death," and he gets killed by L's own guys. Oh, that's pretty good.
If you're wondering what voice Willem Dafoe used, it's the Goblin voice. You know it.
Oh yeah, and that I loved it. Immediately, I was like, "Green Goblin, fantastic." Yeah. They got. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I know.
Just replace the entire podcast, however long this is, just that. They go to the prom so they can get the police. Granny Smith only.
But yeah, they follow Light and his girl to homecoming or prom or whatever it is.
Yeah, and then you get the they find out Watari gets killed. Light's not proud of it.
L loses it.
L loses it. So then they send cops to try and save Light. God, sorry. And then you get the twist of Mia. I don't even care that she's double crossed them. She wants to own the book.
Yeah, and he's supposed to bring it to her at the somewhere Ferris wheel.
Yeah, which
he tells her to meet at the Ferris wheel later.
The only maybe slightly clever part of the whole movie is he's arranging for these people that are murderers and criminals that have professions that can help them.
Which again, that just breaks the rules because it it has to be physically possible is the one rule. Which they don't even go through all the rules. They just highlight the main ones. How would these people that are told to get the book know what they're looking for?
Preston, you ever heard of a god of death? He can do anything.
Yeah, but then also, how do they know who Light is? And he got this doctor. How did you get a doctor who works in a hospital to be on an ambulance? This makes no sense.
And they tried to get smart with it because they were like,
but it ends up being Maya's
girlfriend, Maya's boyfriend, excuse me, Maya's boyfriend. So like they try and do a good job of calling that out, but then even that whole explanation, they flip flop of Light.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I fully checked out.
It's this long, convoluted list of things that are supposed to happen, and he's supposed to live, it's supposed to clear his name. But at this point, the only one that knows you're Kira is L, and all the other cops hate him. So fuck it, like just quit killing people.
Yeah. And then your dad, after you wake up from your coma, comes in and takes a dump on your chest. It's like, hey, I know it's you because I thought back the first death was the guy that killed your mom. I'm pulling my pants down and dumping on your chest, boy.
It's like, who cares at this point? There's no. The only one who wants to kill you is L, and
I don't think every movie has to have an arc. I don't think that, but I think every movie has to have a consistent beginning and end. And this one doesn't have it. It's just kind of like, here's something.
There's so much that seems like it was cut out of this movie.
Yeah, it had to be. I mean, it's short, and when you watch it, I legitimately, this thing finished, and I went, what did I drink a ton during this and forget everything? And like, oh, I didn't drink during this. So
your character is it's just basic storytelling that your character is supposed to go through some kind of change. You know, like some experience they're supposed to be different at the end than they are at the beginning. Nobody changes in this movie.
I have a really random trivia point that I wrote down in my notes. And I think this is at the end. I don't know when this is, but the guy that does the English dub of, it's not James Turner, but it's his anime equivalent, whatever his dad was.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The guy that does the English dub makes a cameo as a serial child molester in this movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like
he was the child molester that got him out the river?
Yeah. That's the guy that does the voice of Light's dad in the anime. So what a terrible trade-off, dude.
I guarantee you they didn't tell him he was a child molester.
No, I'm pretty sure they said, hey, man, we're going to give you a...
You want to be the guy that gets Light out the river? Well, why am I getting him out the river? Don't worry about it. I would be so pissed.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I saw him and I was like, I recognize his face. He got to be in something else. And then went, oh, he's a voice actor. That's where I know him from. And then, whoa.
I mean, there is the shot of him at the playground at the fence. That's a little creepy. I would have been like, no, dude, I'm not playing. Like, there's got to be somebody else I can play.
Yeah, I mean, do something better for the guy that,
like a cop in the background or something. Like, geez, come on, people.
Yeah.
That just made me mad that you told me that.
That's why I wanted to make. I highlighted it halfway through this. I was like, I'm gonna make sure I tell you this because you're gonna hate it. But you know what? We talked about this is something that should be animated. This is something that's Japanese, man. This whole concept of all this is the most Japanese thing in the world.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like to make it in an American environment, not that we're dumb. This is not normal.
It's not the kind of storytelling we're used to.
No, and I think they tried to make it like that. Like you look at the original one, it's like, what in the world is this?
Yeah.
But it was doomed to fail. And I've watched the daggone Japanese live action, and it sucks too.
Yeah.
So.
And so it ends with Light in a hospital, and he's basically kind of confessing to his dad that he's
turds on chest from his dad. Yep.
Yeah. And then he just looks over at Ryuk, who's laughing, and he's like, what are you laughing about? He's like, humans are so interesting.
Yeah. What a stupid ending. Like,
and then the look on his face at the end is like, oh, are we cutting here? And then it just cuts to the credits.
Yeah, and the other piece of that is L finds the page in the calculus book.
Yeah.
Because Light tells him, it's in the calculus book. I was going to save Watari.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, L's supposed to be this, like, hyper good and evil. He's on the side of good. He's intelligent. And he's going to write the name in the page to kill him. So I guess that's what you're supposed to believe is like.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Not even as an adaptation, just as a movie on its own, it sucks, man.
Yeah. Like, because I'll go back to Ghost in the Shell. A lot of people didn't like that movie. I mean, I thought it was enjoyable. There was some good action. There's some different concepts.
The score was good in this movie.
Yeah. And, a lot of people, that don't know anything about movie history try to say that Blade Runner took everything from Ghost in the Shell. And I would posit, no, Blade Runner inspired Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? That's one of those things of like, we're talking about the live action adaptation too. It's doable. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff in it, but the story of that is doable to happen. It got it from Blade Runner, which was not an animated piece first, but
there's a bunch of shots in that Ghost in the Shell anime that look like okay, that's meant for like a movie, you know.
Leave this in the podcast. I'm not embarrassed about it. I just want to tell you this is a weird story. Did you ever watch Cartoon Network as a kid?
I grew up without cable, so no.
Okay, I did too. When we moved up to the upstate, cable was all you could get. So Cartoon Network was there, and there was Toonami, and that's where all the like anime came on, like your Dragon Ball Z, your Gundams. Ghost in the Shell. This is before, right when Adult Swim maybe started or before. Ghost in the Shell is coming on. And I'm like, oh, dude, I've really enjoyed watching this Gundam stuff, this Dragon Ball stuff. I'm gonna watch the Ghost in the Shell, dude. I watched it, and I'll never forget watching it and going, oh, those are animated titties. And my mom walked in right away. And it's like, I'm not watching this for this, mind you. Like, I'm like, this is crazy. This is awesome. Yeah. I just remember my mom being like, what are you watching? Never watch it again. And I got in a ton of trouble, but joke's on her. I put it on VHS and I watched that thing like 12 more times, Mom. Sorry.
He says as a grown man in his 30s.
Yeah, that's right, Mom. I can watch any anime VHS I want. But no, hey, but like, I remember watching the Ghost Shell the first time. Like, this is deep. This is crazy.
Yeah,
like that. Again, I like anime. I don't care. Some people hate it, but
all you weebs come for me. I don't care.
Yeah. Go for Preston.
I like the Ghost in the Shell movie. I also like the Ghost in the Shell anime. Come at me.
I did. You know what? Save yourself. Death Note sucks. The anime's all right.
Yeah,
you're free.
The anime is excellent. This is
Preston,
trash.
Look, I just want to make sure we don't go in a pattern here. If you asked me to watch Dragon Ball Evolution, I'm done.
I had never heard of that until I saw somebody talk about it on the internet. So and then I watched it. And I've never watched the movie, but
it's probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
The clips I've seen seems like the worst.
Just the Nat Wolf could have been in it and been about the same.
Yeah. Which Goku actually looks Japanese in those things. So
yeah, I just enjoy that. I'm like, yeah, Nat Wolf, I'm going to attack you. You'll never listen to this, and you're made a lot of money off that movie, so good for you.
Also, Dragon Ball is another thing that's meant to be animated. Like, you can't have those fight scenes in live action. It's impossible.
No, there's no way. So don't know how much you keep up with it, but there's a live action series coming out called One Piece. I urge you to just look it up, One Piece live action versus the anime. That's where you'll legitimately go, why are you doing this? Like, it's a pirate movie. It's one of the longest running anime mangas and anime itself. Like, it's very enjoyable, but you'll never finish it.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's going to be on there. The cartoon's on Netflix. The anime, sorry, not to get murdered here. It's cool. It's crazy, but they're doing a live action of it, and it does not work.
Oh, they haven't started it yet, or they have?
I think they're doing pre-production now, because you can see.
I see images of like this girl,
pirate
like
ship.
Really huge big. She's got big elbows. I'll call them.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, okay. Again, cut this out if you want to, but it's an interesting thing.
There's a reindeer too.
Oh, Champa.
Yeah, this looks stupid.
It is bonkers, dude. When I went to college, I didn't go to college. I went to a tech school. That's college. I don't care. This dude wrote a paper about the evolution of the size of one of the anime characters' breasts over time. And the more seasons that went along, the larger her breasts got.
Don't do that.
It was the most painful 29 minutes I've had to watch. And like, good for the guy. He was really trying to do, it wasn't being creepy. He didn't understand he was being creepy.
That's still creepy though.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Here's my other favorite trivia point from this movie.
All right.
Who would you think would have been Light Turner other than this cat, if you could pick anyone? He's got blonde hair sometimes, if that helps.
Well, there's
Zac Efron. Zac Efron was the original cast choice.
I guess if they were going, if you're going for like the Seattle thing, yeah, Zac Efron's at least a better actor than this kid.
And like, I think when this was a Warner Brothers production, it had some clout to it, or more. But yeah, disappointing.
But that's Death Note.
This was the death of Notes.
And at least for me, we're going to have a historic rating for this movie at flat out 0.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1. Willem Dafoe, I'll give it,
okay.
Yeah. Which, Preston, why would you not? I mean, I guess they couldn't afford more time with him. But
well, he was in a VO booth.
Golly, he crushed it. I mean,
he didn't even have to show up to set. Like, he was just the voice of Ryuk. But anyway, I'll give it a 1 for Willem Dafoe, even for the limited amount of screen time he got.
Yeah, everything else, it's hot trash. I've watched some air quoting bad movies with you. On this. This one was just bad, but it deserves all the hate.
As a second take, this is no good. Don't watch it, and let Netflix fail like they're doing right now, and just don't watch their bad stuff.
One more piece to make you hate Netflix and this all more.
Yeah.
Do you remember the train accident in this movie?
Yes.
Preston, that was a real train accident.
What?
That was a real image and set. There's like 19 or 25 people that died in Belgium, excuse me.
My God. They used real news footage. What is wrong with the people making this movie?
I knew that fact before I watched this. Like, I remember
who made
that
this
being
movie?
A hot thing, but they used legitimate like train accidents that killed people.
That's terrible. They didn't even do that like in M. Night Shyamalan in Unbreakable.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a sequel.
Which, Unbreakable is an amazing movie if you haven't seen it.
I have not. I should watch it sometime.
It is so good.
No, I have. I'm sorry. I watched a lot of movies last year that I needed to catch up on. I forgot I watched it.
Mr. Glass is okay.
I think I'm M. Night Shyamalan. I'm Shyamalan ding-donged out, man.
Split is also really good, which is in that trilogy.
Oh, that was good. I enjoyed it.
Like, when Bruce Willis showed up at the end and it was David Dunn, I was like,
I wanted to make sure I said something right. Yeah, there's possibly a sequel in the mix. Greg Russo's writing it.
For what?
Death Note.
No.
It might be dead, but it looks active still. But the guy that did the latest Mortal Kombat movie, Greg Russo, is possibly writing it.
He's not related to the Russo brothers, I don't think. Thank God.
And not unless, I mean, like, I'm sure that's...
The Russos make good movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of this podcast.
Yep. I hate you, Preston.
Thank you to everyone who listened this far in our ramblings. Since you've made it this far, hey, leave a review on iTunes and wherever else you can. That'd be great. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And,
it's a good thing.
I'd say if you got a movie that's worth it, shoot a suggestion.
Yeah. You know it. I say it every week.
It is amber.heard@gmail.com. She would like to know all of your recommendations.
She could probably use your financial contributions as well. But the one you should send, the actual one you should send suggestions to is secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. And we are Second Take Movies at all the social medias. Again, if you like this, leave a review, subscribe, tell a friend, be a friend, tell a friend. Jake, thanks for stopping by again.
Hey, man, happy to stop by, but I really hate you for this one. So
I hate myself. So
and look, we started out this whole deal of Sky Captain in the World Tomorrow. My debt is cleared now. So
now, to be fair, you had a choice between Battlefield and this, and you chose this. So
Yeah, Rihanna's not in this.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do that next week. We'll see. But again, thanks for listening.